obviously you could see I'm still processing this one.
There's something special about your love. I think it's one of a kind.
What is up, guys? What is up? So Kellan is getting his passport. Lisa is renewing her passport, but this is Kellan's initial passport. Let's go get the excitement done. The event. This is a big event for especially for Lisa.
You know, I get excited about this.
But I'm not gonna play cool guy. It is eventful, you know. This is my son's first passport. He's gonna be able to travel, you know, potentially carry him back to his parents' origin, Jamaica, and take him to other places so he can learn culture and all of that. So it's important. Let me do some daddy duties. There is Kellan getting his passport stuff. Okay. Let's see if we can catch Lisa's face now.
I'm excited. You know I'm excited, but like nervous always.
Anyway, we're going to see you guys back in the car. Remind me to tell you guys so. And just like that, it's over with. It's a pretty simplified process over here. There wasn't a long line. It's a smaller facility. Make your appointment, of course, but it also helps that you have everything filled out. You have your own picture.
Do take pictures. Again, that has to be set up when you're doing the appointment because they add another like 15 minutes to the appointment time. Okay. So it's like 15 minutes just for the application, but then 30 minutes for the application and the picture. Now you know.
Kind of weird because you know when you go to the passport office down in Miami, for example, that's going to be like an all-day thing. So to be done, it feels very strange for this to be over with.
You did that?
But
you don't have to go to that passport.
I don't remember why, but I've been there. So let me call myself out for this. So not only was this an easy process and very simplified, I'm glad they started doing this at more post office and stuff like that, and not this big huge general all-day event thing at this one office that they have down in Miami. But we have to stop doing this. You know, you come from like a metropolitan area, you watch the news, and they just, I'm gonna use the term hickify everything. They make everything seem like it's gonna be like a bunch of hostile like red hats and hicks and like you ain't from around here, boy. And I'm not gonna say that you can't get that vibe from people, but we saw a bunch of diverse people. See a lot of smiling faces. You know, there were minorities working in the post office, which means that the general people around the area are used to that. I'm not saying that the South and, you know, the country doesn't have all of those negative things that it's going to promise, but it's not everywhere, and it's not as bad as everybody makes it seem. And that's why, not to say it's not true, you know, safely,
so take
see
the
it
time
for yourself.
To explore. Exactly, see it for yourself before you make comments
safely
about,
though, safely,
you know, other people's communities. You know,
it is important, you know, for people like us, like people blogging and stuff, to tell you like, do you get a vibe from a place or whatever. And people can say you're being hypersensitive. It's better to be hypersensitive and safe than to push the envelope and get yourself into unnecessary
so if you haven't done it already, look up what the Green Book is and understand there's an importance to it even now in this day and age, as modern day, that having a green book of sorts is important.
And like, let's modernize that idea. You know, like, yo, green book approved or something. Like, we kind of nod, wink, wink. You know what we mean when we say that. It means that you don't feel uncomfortable as a minority being in a certain area, or waving at people, or people looking at you and making you feel funny.
If people are looking at us funny right now, it's probably because
we have a camera standing up there rather than us being black people.
So Dan brought up the passport office in Miami, and I want to say, me personally as a child, and like, you know, it could be different, but I feel like that was a bit of the animal feeling of like, yo, you couldn't really make an appointment. You had to stand up in line. Immigrants were coming at like 5 o'clock in the morning to stand
in line. Unnecessarily. They very much made you feel like they were doing you a favor, even though you were paying with your time and your money to be there.
Time and money. And people sometimes had to, like, you go there and wait in line. Like, I luckily never had to experience
I feel like customs agents still to this day do that though. Like, they make you feel like you are under some kind of scrutiny to explain to them what you're doing, and like they're going to do you a favor, as if they could, like, you know, like I could just on a whim, like reject you or have you not have entry into the country. And it's not about having respect or not having respect for those people, because I have respect for authority when it comes to those kind of situations, but I've always gotten a vibe from them like they're doing you a favor, and like that weird like energy you get from like an interview where you feel like you're trying to say something to impress somebody instead of just like, okay, this is a formality kind of thing.
So yes, long lines at that Miami, and obviously things have changed and it's different now, but I think a bit of that was to like make you feel less than, you know, who you are, is to like have you wait in line in like, because the line was outside, like it wraps around, there was like a shaded area. I think I must have had it because I have a memory of this, and then it always wraps around to the street. And again, it was just like you didn't have an appointment.
I think I went there with an ex actually, and it was like standing in line for hours on end to do this thing, and it feeds into
when the place is closed, even if you're waiting there from 6 o'clock in the morning, you think
the business.
No, it's not like, oh, come tomorrow. This is your number for tomorrow. No,
it feeds into why the immigrant experience, where they come in and they're timid and like, you know, they hush, and even when they're abused or mistreated, they just take it and just be quiet. Whatever they tell you to do, if they tell you to stand in the corner, just go stand up in the corner, and like you're at the mercy of people that could like deny you. I remember standing up in there as a United States citizen and feeling like, there's a weird energy in here, like they feel like they could like deport anybody in the building or something right now, you know. So it's like, I get it, but enough of those negative vibes.
But if you've had experiences with that, comment below, let us know. If you agree with us, if you were like, oh, my experience was different, comment below.
See you guys when the camera turns on next.
So a local treat in Polk City is Fantasy of Flight. I believe they do shows, but it is a airplane museum. It looks like a really cool like spot to check out. It's like it is a tourist place. I guess it's only open on the weekends maybe. I'll put the link in the description. If we come back, we will definitely show you because it looks like an interesting place. Good morning, beautiful people. I feel like it's been a while since I've come and sat on my windowsill and spoken to you guys. So again, what is that? Beautiful Central Florida day. We're gonna run the road, do a couple activities, probably go to the splash pad with Kellan. A couple of the Central Florida splash pads don't open until some as late as like May. Claremont, I believe, starts in March, but this one in Davenport should be open already. So I'm gonna check it out. This one is in the actual city of Davenport, so you'll see that if we actually do go there today. But I wanted to do a little talk with you. I think you kind of see it peeking while I'm speaking. This is my Holter monitor, guys. I've had it for 2 weeks. I haven't been hiding it, but I don't think I was really ready to like explain what's kind of going on, because I really don't know what's going on. That's kind of the funny thing about life. I don't really know per se, you know, like what is going on, and that's why I have a Holter monitor on. So I guess it started November 7th. November 8th is when I actually went to the ER. So I don't want to say it was like happening for like weeks or anything like that. It was happening for a couple of days where I felt like a slight pressure on my chest. A lot of nurses will hear the term like, oh, I feel an elephant on my chest and stuff like that. It wasn't anything like that. I would feel like my regular heartbeat, and then it wasn't that like my heartbeat would skip, but it was like a pounding beats. Like I'd feel like, ooh, to like kind of catch my breath to be like, oh my god, what just happened? So I had that, and then on the 8th, and I know kind of what the circumstance was happening during that day. I was just like really stressed out, and I was actually trying to put out a video for you guys, and I was stressed out about it. So the reality is, was it a buildup of anxiety, or was it something more? And as someone who has lost a lot of people, I erred on the it could be something worse, and I wanted to be as safe as possible. I went to the ER, you know. I was like, I don't want to be like overly dramatic and just assume that it's nothing, but I didn't want to ignore it. And to the individuals that really know me, sorry, I feel like I'm getting emotional, know my losses. Know that I've lost a lot of important people in my life. So those experiences kind of have caused me to live a different life. And different stages of my life have caused me to just be different in certain ways. So to kind of give you a backstory of what happened, when I was 17, my mother passed away. And, you know, that's a life-changing event, a life changing point. It causes you to grow up quickly. You know, I was blessed to have my father and my sister to support me throughout that process, but they were grieving as well. So it's hard. And, you know, it's something that I don't think a lot of people can understand if they've never experienced it themselves. So yeah, my growing years were, like I said, it caused me to grow up quicker, to see things in a different light, and to always understand that life is short. Then probably about 7 or 8 years after that, my aunt, who came to live with us after my mom passed away, she passed away. And she passed away in a very like mysterious way. She just went missing. And then that caused me to like, you know, look at life differently. I looked at people differently. I looked at trusting people differently. And be a little more cautious in life. But again, living life to the fullest and understanding that life is short and you never know when your last day will be. And I was really close to this aunt. And then about 2 years ago, another integral person in my life passed away. Obviously, you could see I'm still processing this one. One of my closest cousins passed away. Sorry. All right, one of my closest cousins passed away, and sorry, it's just weird even saying it. So, the loss of a adult, you can process things, right? My mother was 45. My aunt who passed away was 45. They lived a full life. My mother got her doctorate. You know, she had beautiful kids that loved and appreciated her. She had a husband that appreciated her. They traveled the world. So she got to experience life, right? You process that. My aunt, she had a change of career. And later on in life, she enjoyed her career. She enjoyed helping people. She touched lives. But Junior was a tipping point for my life, right? Kellan was 9 months old. We're in the middle of COVID. I just went back to work a couple months, and Junior and I are 6 months apart. So you see your life and his life. You've grown up together, like literally grown up together. Yeah, that one, or that is something I'm still processing. So 38 years old, passed away of a heart attack. So I wanted to be the most cautious and just rule out that everything was okay. So fast forward to now. His birthday is November 15th. And this happened November 8th. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I thought about him and I was like, was he experiencing palpitations and stuff like that? And he ignored it. You know, was he feeling how I was feeling and ignored it? So I was like, yo, I don't want to ignore it. I want to go and make sure I'm okay because I have a lot to live for. I have my kid to live for. I have my husband to live, I have a lot to live for. I just didn't want to ignore it. And then it's too late. So I was like, yo, I'm going to drive to the ER. I called my sister, called my dad and told them like, yo, this is what the situation is. And they definitely agreed that like it's smart that you just kind of find out, make sure everything's okay. Dan was like, are you sure? You really feel like, and I'm like, yeah, I feel like I need to just make sure I'm okay. The feeling that I was having, it wasn't chest pain, but it was a pressure and the really hard heartbeat. Like I can't really describe it, without making it sound like I was having a heart attack, right? But I went to the ER and I could only imagine for my husband who has a 2-year-old with him, telling his wife to go to the hospital by herself. It is a scary situation. Dan actually recorded a bit of it when it happened. And like I said, I wasn't really ready to discuss it. So, this is kind of what he was going through when I was at the hospital.
Okay, so, yeah, I wish it was under better circumstances that I was here Lisa is actually not here right now, and I know, sadly, and very cynically, a lot of times when things like this happen in life, people turn on the camera and like look for sympathy or something like that. I'm not gonna get too into what is exactly happening, and partially because I'm not entirely sure right now. But last night, long story short, last night for us, which is like early morning for normal human beings, Lisa felt some discomforts, some things that she was uncomfortable with and had to go to the hospital. We were debating back and forth, do you want me to carry you? And in typical parent fashion, we were like, oh well, I don't want to wake up Kellan and all of this stuff. Against better judgment, I allowed Lisa to drive there, and she drove over and she's now there. They originally were looking to admit she saw a specialist, and they're probably gonna send her home with some kind of follow-up with the specialist, and we'll take it from there. So I'm not even entirely sure what the message I've turned on the camera to convey with you guys. I'm just kind of sharing with you as it's happening, because I'm still reacting to it. Because, you know, I supposed to have work tomorrow. I didn't sleep last night that much because obviously I was trying to hear what was going on with her, and it's that weird feeling of going to work and doing these things routinely at work. You know, it's a Tuesday, it's a Wednesday, it's just a regular day for me, until it's your family member and you realize as a nurse how, like, not jaded, but like how you kind of remove yourself from how your scheduled day can be so important to your patients. Anyway, I was trying to get some rest because I knew Kellan was gonna have to, you know, gonna wake up, and also this blasted time change thing that we're still doing also has him getting up at an hour earlier, and that just kind of throws off everything. So she hasn't gotten any sleep, I've barely gotten any sleep, and then of course then we have family members that are, you know, further distance away, trying to hear what is going on, trying to keep calm, because obviously anxiety added to the situation is not going to make it any more comfortable. It is rough to anyone that has had to go through it, or is going through it, or will go through it in the future. I just have my thoughts and prayers be with you, because, you know, it's not easy. One thing I will say is there's this weird thing happening right now, not to get too medical, but your white blood cell count is basically an indication that your immune system is fighting something. She does have an elevated white count. It didn't sound like it was crazy high, but there's these little weird things that have been coming into work like this, and then there's just secondary issues and stuff happening. I don't want to draw any connections, but it's hard to. You're always looking for the answer of what is happening, where is this coming from. So we're going through that whole thing today. On top of all of that, we're supposed to be going for the car, which was ready yesterday, but we just had things doing. It was also my first day off from the night before and all of that, so we just didn't get to go up there, and obviously wish we did now, but in retrospect it is what it is. I'm gonna try to finish making something for me and Kellan to eat, and just take the day from there. Hopefully it is all upward from here as Lisa comes home. I don't think Kellan really knows exactly what's going on. He saw Lisa on the phone, and I don't think he really realizes that she's not home. So hopefully she'll be home, you know, at least after the nap, so it's not too noticeable that she's not here. Anyway, let's get something to eat. What's up, guys? So I'm in a better mood right now. Lisa is home. It's the next day. We're gonna have some things to talk about with the experience that we had. It's not important where the hospital is. I'm not gonna get into the hospital system, because I feel like people get distracted like that, and I'm definitely not beating up on the nurses. There just were some things that happened yesterday that shouldn't have happened. Regardless, right now I'm just happy that Lisa is home. We're gonna run and go get the SUV that's been at the mechanic shop for I don't know how long now, about a little bit over a week. There's another storm on the way here. Hopefully see you guys in the car, but most importantly, let's go catch up with Lisa.
Yeah, so it's even rough to like see, like knowing my husband and like seeing his uncertainty about the situation, and I can see the fear in his eyes, just like not really knowing what was going on, but trusting in the Lord that like everything will be okay. So fast forward to now, I know you're like, oh my god, that was November. Yeah. Finding specialists in Central Florida for me have been difficult. I do try my best to find minority medical professionals, so maybe it's my fault, but there has been clinical evidence that's shown that the clinical outcomes for minorities when they have minority medical providers are better. Go Google it if you're not sure. So that's important to me, for them to understand culturally some things that some providers might not. Yeah. But I feel great physically. I gotta lose some weight. I feel like I'm sluggish. I still periodically feel the like extra boom heartbeat, but mentally I have those hard days, like just even talking to you guys, shed a little tear, and that's life, and you got to get it out. You can't let it bottle up. And I feel like I might have been modeling up some emotion of some sort, because I am still processing those losses, because like I said, those are critical people in my life, and it's causing me to navigate life in a different register. I'm navigating life still with a bit of fear, but like I said, Junior was a tipping point in my life. He is the one that pushed me to take that step. You know, Dad and I have been talking about Central Florida and like living here for years. Like we used to come visit, and we used to drive around and go to places that weren't Disney when we would come up here. We would obviously do Disney Day, but then we would go and explore, and I'm like, oh wow, this is so nice over here. And we always spoke about like, oh, you know, should we do it? And I'm telling you, less than a year later, I moved to Central Florida, and there's some family members that don't really like me being that far, but it made me realize that if I was to pass away tomorrow, I know that one of my dreams came true. But dream number 2 is, if it's California, if it's Canada, if it's Antarctica, wherever it is, I want to truly just do it, explore it. I know I can do it. There's nothing holding me back. And Junior, he'd be like, you sure? You have a husband that's gonna support you? Go for it. He was willing to do anything to make his life better, to make his wife's life better, to make his family's life better. And I have to respect that and just do that, you know, for him. And to Sharon, she wanted to touch as many lives as possible, and I did that. You know, I'm doing that in her honor. I'm nursing like she was, right? I remember, like, you know, she had a patient, no family members, and she'd bring in deodorant for the patient and soap for the patient, and you know, she was just so caring. And I hope that I am as caring to my patients as she was. And then to my mother, everybody says, it's like, oh my god, you know, let me not say everybody, majority of people say like, yo, I had the best mom ever, you know, she was the greatest. But mommy really was a great person. I don't think there's anybody that's met my mom, even when she was in the hospital, that met my mom that wasn't like, yo, this woman is a great woman, you know. So I just want to be that. I strive to be the mom that she was to me, and talk to us and joke with us, and know when to be the disciplinary, know when to, you know, enjoy your family time. I just want to be that. You know, I want to leave a mark on the world that if it's 45, if it's 60, if it's 95 years that I live on this earth, I want to know that I affected people just like she did, just like all of them did. So my losses, though they may be painful, they've made me who I am. Yeah. So as I continue to process all this and all these emotions, I am well aware that though the physical body might not be ailed, that I could be having psychosomatic or physical manifestations of my emotions, right? So I will update you and tell you how everything physically is going. I've already done my stress test, and that was great. I've already done my labs, cardiac labs, and they were great. So I have some other labs that I'm gonna do. We're gonna make our physical body as best as we can, because, you know, the next step is baby number 2. And then, you know, we'll continue to work on our mental health. because you know the importance of mental health, and remember protecting your peace. When we started this channel, we always spoke about protecting your peace, and we will continue to speak about that. So let's start the day. I hope you guys were with me with this rambling. Appreciate and love every bit of you. Comment below if you are processing and grieving right now or have gone through it. And I believe grief is something that you will continue to process throughout the ages. I don't think it's something that you just kind of, you know, go through and pack it up and it's gone. I think it's something that you continue to process. So to the ones that are continuing on that process, comment below if there's things that you continue to do that help you through your processing, or if it's something that you need help with. Comment below and let's continue this community of love. Bye guys.
You will always be my inspiration.